Hi everybody, welcome to Kate's Space. Welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me today. I have a little project I want to do and I thought I'd turn the camera on. Thanks so much for all your wonderful comments about this journal. Now it's sold, which is amazing and so cool. I wanted to make something out of the journal that I'd made before I send it away. You know when you make something and you really like it and then maybe you send it or give it away and then you can't remember how you made it anymore. So I thought maybe I would make one of these envelopes that I made. Now I have to fumble along because I can't even remember how I did it. I do remember that I really liked the size of envelope. I know it's silly, isn't it, when you find something and you just love the size of it, or you love it for some weird quirky reason. But I only had a few. I thought and I've lost one already. I've put it somewhere safe, as you know, as you do. So I went through my envelopes and I found this one, and this is the same. So I've taken it apart. Now it's too big to make on an envelope punch board. It's too big to make out of an A4 or a US letter size piece of paper. So what I did was I laid it out on some A3 paper. I have some A3 sort of, I think this is a drawing pad paper that I already had tea stained. So I did one on that. And I did one using this template, obviously drawing around it. And I did one on a white piece of just copy paper, which I've then lightly tea stained just with a brush. Now there's still pencil marks on here, but it was a bit damp, and when I was trying to rub them off, it was roughing up the paper, but actually they won't come off. I wonder if that's because of the tea or because this eraser is rubbish. So just rub all my pencil marks off. If I had a piece of card, I wonder if I could put this on a 12 by 12. I don't even think that it's a 12 by 12. No. I want to put this on a piece of cardstock so that it's a better template to draw around. And then I'll just put it in with all my other templates, because if I find one I like, I draw around it, and then I've just got them if I want them. Anyway, I've gotten rid of my glass mat. Well, not gotten rid of it. I've put it on my standing sort of workbench where I kind of do the messy things anyway. And to protect my desk, I've put this piece. It's just a piece of like lino down. I don't know about the colour. Oh, now the sun is coming out. I think I'll close my blind and see how that goes. I think that's better. Right. We had such a big storm last night. It was crazy. And up in Auckland, where two of my daughters live, they had more flooding, and yeah, crazy. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure where I start with this. Obviously, it is sealed up, so that's a good start. Let's seal it up. I'm just going to use this one that I've just lightly tea stained. And obviously it goes this way. So some art glitter glue would be good. Any glue will be fine. And just along here. I don't know about you, but often when you get envelopes, you see how badly they're sealed up. Okay, so that's done. So as you can see, it's super long and narrow. Maybe you can buy these. I'll give you the measurements in case. So it is like a 4 what's that, 4 1/16, just over 4 inches, which is nearly 10.5 centimeters by just over 9 1/4. So 9 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sixteenths. Is that what that is? 5/8. 9 5/8 by 4 1/8. Or is that oh, I don't know. Is that a 6? That's an 8. That's a 16th. Sorry, I don't know inches. And 23, 235, 637, 237 millimeters. I kind of put those measurements into Google and it came up with nothing. So I don't know where these funny shaped envelopes came from, but I really like them. Okay, so I've got my one to the side here, and what I've used is some old vintage manuscript. I love this paper. This is quite an old one, and it's a beautiful creamy color. I've actually got some behind me on my workbench that I'm tea staining at the moment. I can't find my pin. So it looks like I folded it over because the piece I've used in this journal has been, well, I don't know, it looks like it's got some writing or something on it, but anyway, it is on this part of the envelope, and it's actually a bit wider here, so I've obviously cut it down so it's not as wide as the envelope, but I'm actually going to I'm going to make it the same size. So we need to take a little bit off the side here. So do whatever you need to do to make this piece of paper the same width as your envelope. I mean, you can do this with any size envelope. I don't know, I just decided that I just really liked this particular size. Now I can see shadows, so I'm going to go and turn my lights off. Now it's really dark and cloudy, so I can see that this, although I felt very organized to start this video, I can see that I'm going to be getting up and down to open blinds or close blinds or whatever. It's just weather. We have to work with it. I mean, I love having this big window, so you can't complain about that. Right. So basically I went like that, and then I folded this to here, and then that folded up. Yep, that's what I did. But in actual fact, with this one, if you wanted to be a bit more frugal, which I probably will, you could just have it folded. I obviously folded it like that because it had writing on it. But you don't have to do that, and that would make it a lot less what should we say, bulky. Or you could just fold it back like this, and it could open out that way. Either or. So that's what we could do. So we glue that on there, and then the other thing was some music paper. This is from an old book, and I've obviously just torn this across. Let's just go about there. And this has got just a lovely feel to it, this paper. And I've kind of glued that there. And then I've used one of my rose stamps, these, and I've stamped it on some old book page. That's on some real thin. There's some book page here, so I might just try and do that without mucking it up. We all know my issues. My stamping issues. And there we go, just pop it on, and let's see how this paper, oh, that's nice. I like how that's worked. These are good stamps. I think I got these on like AliExpress or something, but they've been real good. They have beautiful fine lines. I've been pleased with them. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out. And I won't talk to you, and then that means I can speed it up. Right, so this one is on a little bit darker sort of paper. I kind of like that number there. I'm just looking at what I've done here. Right, so I've brought this in a bit further so that this was sort of layered and I didn't have such a gap. But that's okay, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. Let's see if we still like it. So there's this one that's on a darker sort of piece of paper, and then this one on a lighter. So yeah, try stamping on different book pages and old papers and things and see what sort of effect you get. I think I'm going to go for this one. And the other thing that I've used on here is some of the these little bits, snippety bit things. Oh, I don't know what this kit is called. I've got a mix in here. I've got some of Sam Paul's label-y things, and some of Heather from Ruby and Pearl's sort of bits. Some of these are printed on sticker paper and some of them are printed on, I think, inkjet presentation paper. And I kind of want to go for a more sort of neutrally one, I think. And that's kind of goes up there. So that's going to cover over that number after all that, but that's okay. So it's quite neutral on that side. So that's how that's going to look. I don't want that up too high. So we could glue that. And the other thing I did was I made that a pocket. Right, so let's start. I'm just wondering whether I want something under here as well. The other thing I've got here are some of these other bits of paper that are from one of Heather from Ruby and Pearl's kits as well. Again, you could use anything. Oh no, I think I could put, maybe I could, hang on, I don't want that white edge there. I could put something like this underneath, just to, I mean, you're not really going to see it, so I don't know if I really want to or not. I'm just going to have a look and see what it looks like. And then we have the rose, and then we have our little bit of this. There we go, that's torn anyway. We could just center this actually, and here and here. What do we think of that? Yep. You know what? I'm going to make it narrow. I'm going to make it like the other one because I like how that looks, and so I'm going to take it down a little bit more on either side. So now we've got the envelope that we can see, and then this is smaller again. Yeah, that's better. And then we've got our little doodacky what's it there, and our rose. Yep, I like that better. And this is going to be a pocket, so I'm going to get glue stick, something to glue on. You can't tell from the video, but it's really dark in here. Do we want girls' own paper? Or I think, why not be happy? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put as much glue on here as I can. I don't want any bubbles if I can help it. How is everybody? I haven't asked you that yet. I hope you're all well. If you're going into summer, you must be super happy about that. Let's try and make this relatively even on each side. Yes, our summer is well and truly over. Whoops, I've just marked that in mine. Good thing about using vintagey old things, it doesn't matter if they get a bit of grunge on it. Now, remembering this is a pocket, so let's not glue this down yet. Okay, so I'm going to just crumple this up a little bit and give it a little bit of a scrunch around the edges. And then I'm going to ink it. Today might be a really good time to just say some hellos, actually, if I can get my computer to come up for me. I've got a lot of hellos. On my studio tour, Jess Chi commented, and I think she's new. Hi Jess. Sherry at Sherry Lynn's Farm Girl. Hi, thanks so much for for stopping by and making a comment. These are very old, so maybe they've never seen. Linda Graves, I know that you still pop in and say hi, and thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Jane Park and Sandra Dunaway. You said the flopping lace on my junk journal January would annoy you, and actually I think I did go in after you said that actually and and had a look at it and thought, yeah, actually that is a bit annoying, or you know, but anyway, I think, I can't remember because it's a long time ago now, I did glue it down or stitch it or something. Right, now let's get our flower how we would like it. There we go. So there's that, and now we want to glue this on here pretty centrally, and we want it to be a pocket, so we're going to go along down each edge with the, I'm going to use art glitter glue. I don't think I made any gussets, I think I just glued it in. Yeah, so it's not a huge pocket. We could have, actually now I think about it, instead of cutting those bits off, we could have folded those in and made it a bigger pocket, but I think maybe the pocket idea was just for fun more than for practicality. It slips in something small. So right, so I'm going to glue down this edge. So who did we get up to talking, saying hi to? Danielle Hannekamp. Hi Danielle. Marjorie Wright. Hi Marjorie. Thanks so much for your kind comments, and I hope you're still popping in every now and then. Sheila Stiles, Paper and Cakes. Barbara from my neck of the woods. So I'm not sure if you're in New Zealand or Australia, Barbara, and I'm not sure if you're still watching. You just never know, because I know I've had some gaps in my recordings and I'm still trying to build up my channel, so people come and go, and that's absolutely okay. I've got Koi Slatin, maybe, Craft Bake Studio. Hi there. Jay Hart. You enjoyed the junk journal January, I think it was, flip through. Martine Bewis. Hi Martine. MacTeld from Daily Dose of Paper. Hi. Thanks so much for commenting and making yourself known. Okay, so I think I may have glued that too low. That's all right, so we'll just wipe along there. That's okay. So then we just decide whether we want that to be just one fold like that, or whether we want it to sort of concertina out like that. Either would be fine actually, and I'm going to leave it at this stage because I actually might just give that another little fold like that, because we can just, it's something you don't have to decide on straight away. Joelle from Crafty Headaches. Hey Joelle, thanks so much for following me on Instagram as well. We follow each other, and thanks for your lovely comments, Joelle, and I hope all's well with you. Where am I? Danielle. Oh, I've got you twice, Danielle. Thank you. Annabella Gardner from way back in 12th of April. Susie's Craft Room. Sandy Vaughan. Hi. Karen Rossi. Melissa, 35, and Made by Granny. Made by Granite has a YouTube channel and an Instagram. Definitely worth checking out. She makes beautiful journals and has a great channel. So yeah, go and say hi to Granite if you get a chance. Right, that's us done. Hellos, which is good. Right, so that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now on this side, when this opened up, I've got a piece of, now you could use, mine is a piece of old document that is, what do we say, it's a digital, and it's basically just comes round here. Also I've done is I've crinkled up these edges a bit on this envelope so it looks a bit sort of more tatty. I haven't torn them so much, but this one here is just crinkled over, and a little bit of ink probably wouldn't go amiss if you felt like it. Now you can see why it's a good idea to do this, because I mean, even just now with it in front of me, I can't really remember how I did it. It must have been just something I was playing around with. I think I maybe saw something similar that maybe Angie had done in one of her Happy Mails. It's possible, because I do watch all of those religiously. So what do we want? Let's just see it set that way. We want this, that one, and you could use an original piece of document. I think I'm going to use this one. I want to put a hole in it. Where should we put a hole in it? Maybe down here. Looks like it. Oh, there we go. That's a big hole. Ripped. This paper is, I don't know what this is. It's got it's quite thin and it's got a texture to it. I don't know if you can see that. I've lost my screen mirroring, so I hope I'm in focus, in the frame for you. So now we've got a big hole there. We could put some sellotape or washi on there if we wanted to. Let's just see. I think what I did is I actually had that sort of coming around like that. I'm gonna just maybe do that with a little tear in it. Yep, so just manipulate your paper however you want it, if you like that look, or you could do something very, you know, not all torn up, just really flat, and it still looks beautiful. I'm going to keep this one, sorry, I keep saying I'm going to keep this one neutral, I think. But I don't want to play too much with this paper because it's quite fragile, or thin, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I'm going to glue that on there like that. I think might make it a bit smaller. I'm just going to tear it. Ink it. There we go. Oh, the sun's come out again. I'm hoping there's not too much glare on my desk. Need to close the blind again. Crazy weather. And you could do more collaging on here if you wanted to do more, but I'm not doing any more than that. I'm just going to stay the same as what I did the first time. Okay, so I'm going to glue the back of this and then sort of manipulate it again. Try not to rip it any further. I can't find any more of this paper, and I actually quite like printing on it. It's got a nice sort of texture to it, and it's quite nice and light. But do you think I can find any? But that's pretty normal for our region at the moment. And our stationery store will have something and then it won't have something. It's kind of like with my, I've talked about that with my glue that I use, how I can get it and then I can't get it, which is why when I do see it there, I buy the whole lot. Okay, so there we go. We've got that little piece and that will fold there. And then on here, I made a little snippety thing just to pin on here. So it's pretty simple. Let me just go and gather up a few bits and bobs and we'll make one. And right, so collect up some little bits of anything that you like. So I've got a bit of lace. I don't think that's particularly vintage or anything, but that's going there. And then I've got this beautiful Swiss dot, which I'm kind of going to try and sort of gather so it pokes out at sort of different sort of directions. I've got this piece, which is definitely a vintage piece. And then I've got this little black and white little trim, which is cute. And it looks like I've tea dyed that. So I'm just going to maybe have that on there as well. Then I'm going to get my needle. This can probably count as a snippety thingy-mabob for the day. I was trying to make some of those the other night and I just, I don't know, I didn't like anything. So I packed it all up and went upstairs. And my sister was like, have you taken them upstairs? I'm like, no, I'm having a break. You wouldn't think something so basic could feel so hard. Right, so then I'm just putting random stitches in. They're big stitches on the back and small stitches on the front to hold everything together. But again, you could glue this. You could absolutely glue it. People use hot glue and stuff like that. I just haven't used hot glue. I think maybe I've used hot glue in the past, not since being junk journaling or anything, making books, but maybe for some 3D or some sort of heavier things when I was scrapbooking maybe, or making off the page kind of things. But yeah, no, I don't use it. But lots of people do, and maybe I should think about it because it is good for holding heavy items and making sure things don't go anywhere. I would probably just burn myself. I think that's probably part of my issue. I have a tiny little glue gun. Okay, I don't like that one as much, but it's fine. I think it's sewn enough. I don't think it's going to fall apart. Okay, so, and then just finish it off at the back. There we go. Needle back in the pin cushion so we can find it later. So that's just going to sort of sit on there, and I've got a pin in the one on this old envelope, and I've got another one that I've rusted up. These really big, these are vintage, these pins. I found them somewhere and I rusted them up, and I actually wonder if that's just, oh no, it's pinned on. And what I've done is I've grabbed some old ledger, but again you could use one of these little snippets or a piece of printed ledger or old document. But I think I'm going to do the same as what I did on the other one. I'm going to tear out some of this cool old writing from this 1900s ledger, and I've used Friday on the other one, so I'll probably do the same on this one. square it like that, and then pin it on, I think. Let's see how we go doing that, getting through all these layers, because they're quite thick pins, and the rust makes them grip, so we'll just see if we have any luck with that. Doesn't want to go through that part, so I'm going to go through this part here. That's better. And come back up through here if we can. Try not to do too much damage. There we go. And so that's attached there. You could also glue that paper on, but I haven't. And then I'm just going to glue it there, and I'm going to use some what am I going to use? I might use my tacky glue. This stuff seems real good. Someone asked a question about this glue on Instagram, and lots of people gave their opinions about what they thought about it. The other thing we could do is, if you wanted to make this a bit more decorative, I mean, there we go, we're adding some colour, and this one is very neutral, but you could have something coming out under here if you wanted to add a little bit more. It's quite cool. Oh, I like that. This one's cool. Quite like that. Oh, I like this one too. I love these. These are really great. And that adds a little bit of colour. Quite like that. Coming out from under there. I might use that one. Why not? So I'm just going to give it a bit of a scrunch up, so it doesn't look so fresh and new. And a little bit of inking, I think, would be good. I know you don't all like inking, but each to their own. I like inking. Right, and I'm going to glue that on with my glue stick. I should have this upside down because it takes ages to come down, that glue. So where do we want this? We're going to have that there, I think. And this coming out from underneath. Not too much showing, just a peek. Right, and this will need lots of glue, so I'm just going to put a big blob there. Stretch this, it's puckered up quite a lot with that pin. Oh, there we go, that's better. And let's glue that about there. Yep. Maybe over a bit more that way. Okay, so there we go, there's that one done. So as you can see, you can fold it over a page, is what I had done. I folded it over a journal page. Like that, and then I turned this into a bit of a tuck. Had that looking a little bit sort of more tatty. That's better with a few folded edges, isn't it? I like it better like that. So there's that, you could do it, and then you turn the page and you've got this, and this comes out, and then you've got this pocket here, and you've got a little, where's our other pocket? Our other pocket's up here. So yeah, I love it, and yeah, I quite like that, coming out like that. Again, you could do some more decoration here. You could put another one of these on here. That's quite pretty. This one's cool. So, or you can actually just have this in your journal, like clipped. You could have it clipped to a page, so it's an actual insert that comes away. I mean, you could make it into a journal. You know, you could put more pages in here as well if you wanted to. So that's good. There's my little sample. Now we've got another one. We could try making one with a bit more colour. That's what I was actually thinking, if we've got time. So I'm just going to rough my envelope up a little bit. And give it a bit of a crinkle. Looks a bit more used that way. Okay, and then some ink. Just a really light amount of ink. So my baby, Lily, turns 21 this year, and she is my daughter who's just moved with her boyfriend Stefan to Brisbane. So I've got two daughters in Queensland, Australia now, which is fine. And so we were chatting, Briley and I and Brittany were chatting about how we'd really like to be there for her 21st. I mean, they're not going to come here and celebrate. Stefan's parents now live in Sydney, Australia, so they're over there, and his brother. So we thought, well, let's buy tickets. And then we saw that the Dixie Chicks, which are now called the Chicks, they're not called the Dixie Chicks anymore, that they were playing here in New Zealand and also in Australia. So we thought, oh, let's buy tickets to that, and we'll go while we're over there. So we've all bought tickets to Brisbane, and we arrive on her birthday in October, so it's a wee while away, trying to be organised. And then we're going to go to the concert on the 24th and fly home on the 25th. So we were all discussing it the other night, do we want it to be a surprise? And I just said, look, I'm just fine the surprises. After the surprises we had a couple of weeks ago with Michaela arriving from Australia to surprise Brittany after she had had her baby and all that kind of thing, I was sort of like, I don't really want any more surprises, if you don't mind. So yeah, no surprises. Okay, I just need to go and get my other piece of music manuscript paper. Right, so this is obviously a tea stained piece of paper that I've made this envelope out of, and this is some manuscript that I've tea stained. So this is a newer manuscript piece of paper that I've tea stained to make look a bit older. Now this time, I might go that way, I might fold these under and make little side gussets, so that the little pocket that we make will be a bit roomier. So I'm just folding that in. And so that will sit there like that. And instead of using the music paper, I'm wondering about using this and tearing it. So this is a Ruby and Pearl digital. I'll just tear it about there and we'll see how we get on. So this is going to have sort of more colour to it, this piece. More going on, and I don't know what about the flower, so maybe, I don't know, we'll think about that. So I'm just thinking about doing a bit of a variation that's got more colour to it. And I do love the cream and the blue together. So yeah, I'm going to ink this. Right, so that's that can go on there. And I might have a little gap at the top. And then on the side, this time maybe we would use something a little, I don't know if we'll use this or not. Oh, did I not end up using the dark flower for that other one? I didn't. That's okay. I'm using it on this one. I think I still will use this. I quite like it. And just what I'm going to use at the top, whether I use anything at the top, I kind of feel like I don't super need to, because I quite like that, but it's got that white edge, so I wonder if I just go like that. Quite like that coming out under here. Yeah, I do like that, so I'm going to just, here we go, there's a little scrap on my desk that's just got used. So I'm going to have that little bit of writing coming out from under there. Just feel like this needs to be a bit wider. And then my flower. Just thinking about whether I do want something behind there. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go with that. What do we think of that? Okay, so let's glue this wee piece down first. Try and get that in the right place. Hope you're still with me. This video is really long in real time, whatever you want to call it, but I will edit it down because that's a good idea. Okay, I'll take that back a little bit there. Yep. Okay, and then the blue bit, glue that on. Yes, so our big trip to Australia, and it seems weird to be planning that, you know, around the same time as about to go to Bali, or might be in Bali when this goes up, but you have to plan ahead because flights get so expensive here. It is very expensive to fly, and the longer you wait, the more expensive it is. And you know, it's Lily's 21st. So, I was going to tell you, we decided we didn't want to do a surprise. Oh, I want to put a hole in that. So I'm just going to lift that up and get my rusty paper clip. My trusty rusty paper clip. We told Lily, because we, like I said, we didn't want any more surprises, so we FaceTimed her over there after work and told her, and she cried. Oh, bless. So she was thrilled. So that's good. So yeah, now we're looking for somewhere where we can all stay, and yeah. So we have this to glue on here. Let's do our, should we do our flower and our thingy-mabob underneath first? Oh, I love that blue. So yeah, the concert, which will be heaps of fun. We didn't tell her about the concert. We just said we're going to be doing something on the 24th. But, and then we also, Brittany couldn't really afford to bring Ella, her elder daughter. So just Brittany's coming with, not Kenton, her partner. So we went halves. My other daughter and I went halves and paid for her to bring Ella. So Ella is beside herself with excitement, as you can imagine, and Lily's just so thrilled that Ella's coming. And yeah, it's just going to be fun, I think. So we'll have little Lucia. She'll be 6 months old by then, so hopefully she'll be a bit more settled than she is now, but that's okay. We'll deal with her if she's not, if she's still a grumpy little girl. I can't believe how much she is changing day by day. Brittany sends me photos and it's just like, oh my gosh, don't they change so fast? Those of you who've had children and seen them grow up. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. It looks really different to the other one, which is probably a good thing. Right, so now we need to think about these bits here, because we don't want them all the way down, I don't think. Because we're not going to turn that into a pocket as well. We're going to fold that up. Okay, so I need to mark, I'm going to cut them. So I'm going to cut these about there, that way. And that way. And then we're going to cut these bits off. So I might, will I tear them? Yeah. So I'm going to try and tear this off without destroying this piece of paper. Doesn't want to tear. So I need to cut it off. My cutting's not very good. That's why I'm umming and ahhing right now about my cutting, because it's not very straight. And I don't know where my big scissors are. I've put them down somewhere. So cut up that part there. Get rid of that. And same on this side. I love how this paper has tea stain. It's taken the tea really well. Okay, and then I'm going to glue along here and here. Oh, I'm going to cut these on an angle so they're not visible, and that just gives us a bit more room in that pocket if we want it. So that's just an option. I just find sometimes I make pockets without this and glue down the sides, and I find unless you're super careful all the time, they tend to start tearing away. Okay, so let's try and get this on pretty much in the center. I've got a little gap at the top, which I'm okay with. Okay. If we turn it over, we'll see how even we got it. Not very even at all. Never mind. That's the trouble with lines on your paper. Okay, so there we go. We've got that like that. If we want that extra bit, we can keep that on there. And that's the front. It's super pretty. And then we've got our inside bit. Here. I haven't glued down here, so now I'm going to glue, just going to lift this and glue along the bottom edge of this envelope to close up that pocket. Okay, and then the other thing we have is where you open this up, and I've got it this way. I mean, it can go any way, but I'm just sticking with what I've done because that's what I feel sort of confident with. So we could do something neutral here. I think I will. That's what I've got. It's quite bright on the other side. Or, I mean, there is, this could go there. I don't love that as much. Or we've got this, we could tear that down and put that there. We could use the rest of this if we wanted to. I actually quite like this one. I meant to make that. Okay, that was that one or that one, or both. Could use both. Take the bottom off because it is got white on it, and I didn't need to take that much off, but there we go. Probably need to get a move on now because we're sort of faffing around. I probably won't have time to make another snippet. I wondered if I could tear this like that. Does that look sort of weird? Okay, stop faffing around, shall we? Crunch it up, stick a hole in it somewhere. Up here. And glue that down. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I hope it's not too long, but I guess you guys can just turn it off or fast forward it when you've seen enough. I don't know if I should have started a second one, but anyway, I have, so I'm going to stick with it. So that's that bit. So there we go, that's one. It's not quite finished because I haven't decided what I want to do on there, but we've got our little pocket. So let's just see. Oh, have I glued that shut? I think I have. I got distracted. Let's just see if we can save it. Maybe not. It's good on that side. And then it gets stuck there. There we go. Just remember that you have to be aware of that glue seeping out. Okay, so that's got a lot more space in it because we've got those little foldy bits. So yeah, we've done the same thing. Same but different. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you again soon in the next video. Bye.